pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Pipia. Here. Fry.
Present.
Schroller. Here. Hughes.
Present.
Beichman.
Present.
Price.
Present.
Behrens. Here. Wrong. Here. 8-0. Yeah,
Okay.
quorum.
First up, we have the approval of the minutes. Does anybody have any changes?
Move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 12th, 2020.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next up, we have public comment. Is anybody here for 5 minutes of public comment? No? Next up, business and discussion items. First we have up is the recreation contract with Marysville Go Play. Hello? Yep,
Yeah,
Jenna,
please.
yep.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello,
Would
How are you doing, sir?
yourself?
Jenna Meyer. This is my husband, Greg Meyer.
Hello.
Okay, then we've got kind of a contract written up in your packet.
Do you want to talk about what your goals are? I think
Yeah,
that would probably
that'd be good.
As we discussed in our proposal, the rec program that's currently in progress seems to be working really well. We basically want to mimic what Brian is doing. Obviously, we want to bring more to the community. We did propose some new programs in there. We'd like to do some more hunting, fishing, kind of gear some more towards the older, get the elder involved a little bit more.
Was there anything you were planning on not doing at all that you know of?
No.
A lot of depends on the scope of stuff too, as you guys know.
Well, right.
Talk up just a little bit with
A
these
lot of that
masks.
depends on the COVID stuff too, what we can and can't do, hopefully it'll just disappear, but it seems very likely at the moment.
I have sat down with Brian a little bit and kind of went through the programs, and I think everything that he's currently doing, we're comfortable with.
What about some of the, they used to do like art camp, or what's that part of the rec?
We didn't discuss that. I know, he said they haven't done the babysitting clinic maybe recently. I would like to do that. Doesn't sound like they're getting to do basketball right now. I'm not really sure if that's due to COVID or not, but there was, I think, a list of, 15 to 18 programs that they're currently doing that we'd love to continue.
I think Austin printed us out a list.
What's that?
Austin printed us out a list.
Yes, that's what we were given.
Yeah.
And our new ideas were, like I said, the hunting, the fishing, we'd like to do basically anything we can do outdoors. Maybe do some canning, gardening. What else do we have in there? There's a father-daughter dance, but we'd like to do like mommy and me play dates, like at the parks and stuff like that.
Okay. And, yeah, Parker. Had Brian been working on getting us a list of inventory?
He is. Brian had talked to Austin about that so that you would know exactly where you stand with all the stuff that we had from 2006 when they took over, so you know what equipment you have and what you'd have to purchase either from him or supply on your own. Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, if I could.
Yes.
I just asked a quick question. I looked the contract over, and one thing, you're dealing with public monies, and the city clerk has, internal procedures to make sure everything's accounted for. Have you thought about that? How are you going to take care of that money coming in and going out? Internally, have you thought about how you're going to do that?
We would use Mason Tax and Accounting. We've actually already talked to them about that.
And they'll provide what functions for you?
basically everything, the payroll, the taxes. That's who Brian currently uses, that's who we would use as well.
Are you an entity right now?
No, we have not done that yet, because there's no point in doing that until, you're approved for it, so why go through it beforehand?
Anybody else have any questions?
I have one thing.
Yes, sir.
This is a big bite you're biting off. You know how much work this is.
I've been in contact with Brian quite a bit. At first, it was like, oh wow, like he does more than I think a lot of people realize. But yeah, we're prepared for it. This would be, I would quit my full-time job to do this. And we were comfortable with a one-year contract. I think right now they're currently on a 5. We would appreciate just a one-year contract.
Okay.
Have you talked about how you're going to start up? I know there's a $3,000 payment right to begin with. And can you lead the council through how that's going to work and how you dealt with Mr. Frogel with that, with his experience?
You mean why we would want to start early?
Yeah, and how are you going to do during that period of time?
I had to ask Brian if basically he can sit down and just dissect each program with me, get all his contacts, all his information. I want to know when he sends out the registration forms, how he sends them out, when he sets the deadlines, the procedure for putting teams together. I know that he is currently in contact with the school, USD 364 and Legion. I need to know how he sets the schedules, how he makes the teams, where he stores stuff. He said there's stuff kind of stored all over the place right now. I would appreciate the extra time just so I don't go into it blind. I want to pick his brain and just know everything that he's currently doing.
Where are you going to have your office then?
We are allowed to take over his current building. Otherwise, I've been in contact with 2 other local downtown businesses that are for rent.
So you will have a downtown place
Oh,
where
yes.
people can.
Yes, either where he's currently at or across the street.
Okay. And, I guess the other thing to be discussed was the amount of the contract. Because I think we offered 68, I think originally, or
No,
actually a little bit less than that, and then we came up some.
we
What
offered
happened?
65, and then we offered $3,000 for the month of November and December,
Yeah.
which brought it to 68.
And that's what the contract reflects.
And that's what the contract.
So next year will be 65?
No,
Well, that's up to the council.
yeah, that would be a different contract, but this is for this.
This is
This
year.
this is just
Yeah.
for this year.
This would be 60,
20-year contract.
yeah.
This is year by year.
Now you got me confused.
Yeah, she's
right.
She's right.
It's 3,000 for the 2020 year and 65,000 for the 2021 year. That is what the committee talked about, and Myers asked for 60
67.
for the 2021 year, and leaving the 3,000 for this.
Okay,
So-
for a total of 70,000.
Right,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Okay.
That's how. So that's your decision.
One thing in the contract did state that we're, to secure it up and, do the most we can to keep from vandalism. What does that really mean? What do you want us to secure? Lock stuff up, but what else can we really do?
Lock the gates.
Lots of gates, that's
That's
all
all
you
it
can.
means.
Yeah.
Lock the gates.
Make sure the building's locked.
Yeah.
Lock the gates, lock the buildings. That's all you can do, Greg. There's not more to it than that.
Something else in there, like we need to patrol it every once in a while.
No, that's,
Set up cameras or something like that.
If you want to, you can.
I can argue.
No.
But if there was any vandalism, the city is liable to fix that. That's one thing.
That is what it says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the contract.
Our lawyer looked over it too. There was just a couple things that, and then, I don't know, we need to sit down and go through the contract, because I know we both got the first draft right now. Our lawyer was happy with it, but there was that, and then,
Other things.
yeah, just a couple other wording of things he just wanted to clarify.
But once we explained it, we had discussions about it.
Yeah.
One question. Is this you guys' first jumping off point into doing something like this, or do you have some past reference?
I grew up playing softball and I've coached. He currently owns his own business, so, I mean, has a business. But yes, this would be our first time as the sport and rec director, yes.
Reason I ask that is there's lots of things you've got to keep on top of them, and I just wondered, when I said that about biting something off, you guys have really thought about this and want to give it a try.
Yes. We don't have children, so, I mean, we're open every night, basically.
Yeah, that's definitely why she wants to start before her contract actually starts, so she can get some background on it, because, I mean, it's like you guys have stated, it's a lot.
Well, I say,
And so like Brian, for flag football and soccer, is there every Saturday and Sunday.
And it states that in the contract that we would be.
Someone has to be there.
You still watching training programs and stuff like that, on maintaining fields and stuff? I mean, have you been taking training programs?
I have not, but I'm familiar, and that's another thing that Brian, that I wanted to go over with Brian. You know, the mowing and all that, I can do all that, but as far as actually how he maintains the field, I would like to pick his brain about that.
I'd like to go ahead and move sports and rec contract between Marysville Go Play and the city of Marysville.
literally on table.
Okay, I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion?
So everybody's happy?
I'm
with
not
this?
happy with it.
Okay, that's, I wanted to make sure before.
Nope.
This sounds like it's still real fluid here.
This is the first draft of
Yeah.
the contract that's been
Yeah.
brought through. I think we need
Yeah.
to go back and visit with them again and then bring it back again. It's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So we could vote no on this and redraft it and come back. and-
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a motion unless you take it, withdraw your motion, I guess.
So they're gonna have to do theirs first.
Okay. Yes, Derek?
Did we have a committee? You had some committee meetings.
We had
Yes.
two of them.
Did we get a report that we could hear from about this report from this committee meeting before we vote on something like that?
Well, what came out of the committee was the contract that got written up. 'Cause we had one with the initial proposal, and then we had an in-person meeting and kind of went over the pay and the amount of money and how the payments would be divvied out. And at the end of that meeting, we had most of it buttoned down except for just the final pay amount wasn't negotiated out. So we drew it up as the committee recommended. And then we got an email with their offer.
I understand that, Jason. The only thing I didn't, the rest of the council didn't hear from the committee. We never heard nothing about the meeting. But, I mean, you had a meeting.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk it over first. That seemed like.
Well, we're
I'm
talking,
hopeful they'll do this.
well, we're talking over what came out of the committee
This
right
is-
now.
This is
This is what came out of the
meeting.
committee, is
There hasn't
this
been anything
agreement.
other than, and what they come back with, first time we saw it, was when I picked up my packet on Thursday.
Okay?
Yeah, so I mean, you're,
Most of this contract is from what
Brian.
Brian already had, with
Yeah,
just a
the
few
only
changes what they
changes-
had.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only changes we asked for were mowing, that the city just mow the hill, and trash, which we said that we would continue to do the
Right.
trash.
And we did change the payments to quarterly as opposed to, before we used to pay them in February and
Twice.
into June or something, and now we're gonna pay them quarterly, so it's 4 times. So we have a little more, you know.
And we added a pandemic clause.
Right, and they added the pandemic clause.
But anyway, but we have a motion in a second. So, I mean, yeah, if you want, either he can withdraw it or you can vote no, and if you want to discuss it further. And then you can do whatever you want, kick it to the committee again or discuss it later on.
I think that since they've been here and we've had kind of some updates, I think it needs to go back to the committee.
Okay.
Because this isn't saying it's completely figured out, is what I'm getting from our conversation. You know, we're not all on, it's still, some of the stuff is up in the air. So I think if we would maybe withdraw and have the committee sit down and get this all smoothed out. You know, because, I mean, this is for her and him, and it isn't just something that they're gonna do a couple of times. And they also are reflecting on the city. So everybody needs to be completely on the same boat.
So we need to know what equipment goes into the, I mean, that's.
Exactly.
Yes, and we need to get that.
I just think it's a very important, integral part of our community that we need to make sure it's done correctly.
It needs to be done right, not just to get it done. Okay?
We understand.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
What were we voting on?
On whether to approve the contract or not.
The way this contract is written right now.
We're voting yes or
If
no?
we need to change that,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
I'm voting for it.
Okay.
I didn't vote until then.
7.
Right, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So then.
I move to go back to contract negotiations with Marysville Go Play LLC.
Okay. Second. Do I have a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we will set up another committee meeting then.
Do you have a time? You care?
I can't this Wednesday, I know that.
As far as this meeting with the part.
Just that committee again.
Yeah, it's us again. What works best for, time works best for you two?
That,
I know you guys are still farming, I know.
it never ends. Yeah, anytime after Wednesday's fine.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see if we can better these guys, better maybe Thursday. Thursday's not gonna work for me. Thursday doesn't work. Yeah. Okay.
So we'll set something up. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, next up is Clint with BD. Hello.
Good evening. So I'd like to first begin by saying that we were pleased to have received on October 19th 8 bids of interest from contractors on the Marysville Fire Station. We were grateful for that interest. We even had interest as far away as Maryland, actually, which would be the farthest I've ever seen interest extend. The lowest bid amount received was provided by Inline Construction. It was in the amount of $1,026,230. The second lowest bid was by AHRS Construction, Inc. in the amount of $1,064,000. The highest bid amount received was $1.46 million, and we were glad to see that of the 8 bidders, 5 of them were close to or less than the estimated value of the project that BG had estimated for the work. That's where we want things to come in. The architect's estimate of construction cost for base bid, that excludes alternates and additional work, was $1,273,332. We did evaluate the bids to identify the lowest qualified and responsible bidder. They did provide all the appropriate bid bond materials or equivalents, and they did acknowledge all the addenda as having received all the information that would be appropriate for them to accurately submit their bids for the work. When we looked at the two lowest bidders, AHRS and Inline Construction, we also looked in throughout the board at all 8 contractors at what the total cost would be for alternates and base bid to see if you'd be able to incorporate at the city's option any of those alternates. It so happens that as we added all those values up, that the total lowest value bid for the qualified bidder was $1.1 million. That was from Inline Construction and would include all 6 alternates for the work and the base bid. As part of the alternates, contractors were given the option to allocate a calendar day to work to be performed. As a result, when you look at the base bid, all bidders bid 270 calendar days for performance of the work from day of notice of award or notice to proceed. Inline Construction does have 8 calendar days associated with various alternates in total. So that'd be, if all is accepted, it would be 278 calendar days. AHRS Construction was very close. We had very close competitive bidding in the local area and in the region. AHRS came in at $1.143 million. So we're absolutely glad to see these obviously come in well within the value of the estimate. And their total scope of work for calendar days was 270 calendar days. Now, it is the architect's recommendation that the city give notice of award to the contractor and associated bid which meets the following 2 criteria. 1, being the lowest bid, and 2, a reasonable time of completion. In review of the information provided, Inline Construction Inc. meets the preceding qualifications, whether the base bid alone is accepted or the base bid and all alternates for the work are accepted. I think with that, I would like to open up for questions and state that, our role at this point is to give notice to the contractor that the city determines to award and what scopes of work, if any, whether it be a base bid or base bid plus given alternates.
Move to approve to give the contract for the new firehouse to Inline Construction.
With alternates or base bid? Everything?
Base bid.
Just the base bid?
What happens if they don't get it done in 270 days?
If they don't complete the work within 270 days, calendar days, there are stipulations that are built into the contract called liquidated damages, and they would be responsible to pay for those liquidated damages per calendar day until the date of either substantial completion or until the date of final completion.
So there's fines.
There is, that is correct, yes. And all of the bids came in with a time period that would result in a project completion early August of 2021.
With the start date of?
Any time after the notice of award to begin in 2020. Yes.
Okay, explain to me why we want to do the base bid, not the alternates.
Why do we not want to include the alternates?
Because these alternate items or additional items you have here, I don't think are items that we really need to put in the station.
Wait a minute, which ones are you looking at? Okay, that's not.
Unless we got other
No,
ones we looking at.
Yeah.
That's his bid deal, that's the alternate.
Okay, I'm looking at the other one, sorry.
Pipe ballards and the generator,
Yeah,
Wash bay curtain.
Okay.
the wash bay curtain, those are the alternates
Signage.
he's talking about.
okay,
Flagpole.
Yep. The thing over there.
Yeah, this is further discussion on the other page.
okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yep.
No.
All right, so the motion is now to award it with all the alternates?
With the alternates, yes.
All right, and then I have a
And
second
why
on
wasn't the
that.
generator included as a base bid on this?
The reason for that is based on just the cost of construction as it had been estimated. The reason for having an alternate is so that if we had favorable bids, it could be planned for. There were plans in the original contract to account for its inclusion. But again, it gives you the greatest flexibility with the alternates. There's no additional cost for them.
Say if you're building a building of that size, and an emergency building on top of that, why in the world is not a generator included in it in case of a power outage or a storm to kick on so you can get the doors open to get out of the building?
It provided flexibility, and the fact that we were living on a budget is basically what it was.
It's still, items like that should not have been,
We're just-
more mentioned, should have stayed in that.
Yeah.
We're just fortunate that the bid came in low enough that we
Oh,
could put it back in. Yeah.
We are, but going forward, those are the thought processes that need to be there, because unless you guys want to come lift up the 14-foot garage door to get the truck out.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that,
if you've never done that, you won't do it
to me, that was
because
an
it doesn't
arrogant
work that way.
mistake on somebody's fault, or
So it's in there, so it doesn't make any difference.
it doesn't
So-
matter, but it still
That's
should have
right.
been pre-planned into the original price of the building and everything.
Point he's making is if it didn't come in
I
low, you
understand.
weren't gonna get it.
Yeah,
And it was probably another 20 to 50 grand we were gonna spend to put it on.
Okay. We had a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 8-0. All right. Do you have any more questions for him while he's here, or is he?
Maybe stick around.
Stick around for the
and just
discussion on some alternates.
listen to the additional, the items that I listed in an
Additional
email. Just listen to some of the discussion if you don't mind.
I'll do so, Austin. Thank you very much. And also, so that you're aware, the city does have 2 copies of the full set of plans and specifications available on the chair.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
All right, the last page under this item is just a discussion item. Some of these items have already, or actually, the top one has already been discussed as to whether we needed it or not. The traffic signal north of the fire station to help stop traffic. It was a discussion item, whether it's necessary or not, that's up for you guys to decide. One of the other items I've been, and in fact, I think we kind of anticipated in our electrical guide that, if I'm wrong on this, Clint, that we have ready to connect to alternative powers, such as solar panels. Just an idea to throw out there to save us maintenance costs in the future, or upkeep costs of electricity. The third one, audio-visual equipment. Right now, it's not in the project per se. We are roughing it in with the project, so there will be the place for the wiring and all that there, but no audio-visual equipment per se, putting it in there. Also, the furnishing, the appliances, i.e. the chairs, tables, I put chairs twice, refrigerator, etc. Stuff like that, include that in this process, or figure out a different way to fund it. And then I left it open for you guys' suggestions, or what other items you guys might be thinking. These were just, as I said, discussion items, thoughts that I had, as well as thoughts that had been talked about previously in the fire station meetings. So I leave that for you guys to discuss.
For the sake of discussion, the first thing that came to mind to me was not rocking the parking lot, but either concreting it or paving it. Since we're going to have a nice finished structure with a bunch of rock lot around it, to me it makes sense to at least consider concreting that. So we only do it the one time.
Yeah, because we did cut back on the amount of concrete, if I remember right, originally.
Just a thought.
Okay.
I know there were a couple things that were brought to my attention, and one of them was whether we would want to have an air compressor in that building, or the air compressor system that hooks up to the trucks to keep the brakes pressurized, so when they hop in them, they're already ready to go.
If you're gonna put the air brake system in to supply air pressure to trucks, you might as well put an electrical system in so they can drop right beside each other, so that when they pull up the truck, they disconnect them, hit it, and go.
Because I
I mean,
do know
you go
that-
to the bigger fire stations, Manhattan and all three of their fire stations have them sitting side by side, right beside the truck. They disconnect them, they go up, they grab them and they go. This building don't even have an air compressor in it.
I agree, but we want the air reels. And electrical reels and air reels need to be mounted on the left side of the truck.
From the ceiling.
And that way they could plug in their battery maintainers
Right.
too,
There,
that they have.
every truck has a battery maintainer on it right now. And that has saved tremendously on the batteries. I mean, I think we're getting 7, 8 years out of some of them batteries instead of 3.
Oh, I'm sure. And, yeah, it was a couple things that got brought to my attention, and then a pressure washer.
Yep.
Because we've got
spending money
a
for the
wash bay,
wash,
but we don't have a pressure washer,
Yeah.
so.
Personally, Austin, I'd like to see a hot seat.
Gas.
Like what?
Like to see a hot seat powered off of natural gas. Yeah, Hot Seat's a brand name. There's a service guy up in Lincoln, does a really nice job. It's a hot watered pressure washer.
Okay.
You go with the natural gas, they're a little more expensive, but you don't ever have to, once it's in, it's in.
Okay.
Yeah. And water softener in front of it. That way we save the machine as best we can. Because I think some people are gonna be a little shocked on that machine.
Okay.
I like the idea of concrete in that. I think that's a great idea.
Is the inside completely finished? I
Yes.
mean,
Yes. And we
drywall's-
looked that up, it said, they're painting, right, and all that in there? Yes.
drywall, paint, trim, doors, everything. Okay.
Yes.
Because I know at one point when we were talking, there wasn't enough to finish the inside of it, we didn't think.
Right. No, it was bid with full finishing on the inside.
Okay.
All right, are we trying to put these like in an order of what we think would be best for them, or?
Okay, so let me ask,
I'm asking for everybody's input of how they'd like to do that.
okay, how about this? What's a dollar figure you guys are looking at to stop? I mean, right now, I'll lay it out. We're looking to, with the $1.1 million, we're looking at $200,000 we're gonna have to finance. And that sounds like a lot, but it's in the scheme of things, for us, we can pay it off in a short amount of time. But while we're doing this, it would save us money, for instance, the pressure washer, installing it now. The power reels, the air compressor, the concrete parking, installing it now saves us money if we finance it, even if we finance it right now, especially with the rates right now. So it makes sense to do all this and then pay it off over time rather than come back when we have the cash and do it later. So is there a limit, or 300,000, right now, 20, let's say 20. I'm just doing
An air compressor is probably roughly
let's say 40.
25 to 40,000.
So $40,000 right there. I wouldn't think the power reels would be that much. Just the electrical work to get them there if it's not already there. And then concrete would be quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Well, the electrical should be fairly close because you're gonna have the overhead garage
overhead
doors,
lights,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
So you want to look at a $400,000, that's pretty much what we were looking at with the whole project into itself.
Gas-powered power washer, right?
Yeah, that way you don't have to haul diesel to it all the time.
Yeah. So, okay, are these a must?
no, natural.
So concrete the parking lot, air compressor, the power reels, pressure washer.
Air
Deep-
reels,
What?
electric and air reels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at how much, let's just look at how much those cost.
I think that's a good start.
And then,
And what about the other stuff you had on the list? You gonna include them too?
that's,
What this is all about.
Yeah.
the traffic, okay, so let's put that out there. How do you feel about the traffic signal? I know some have talked to me about it, not very favorably right now, but your thoughts, if that's a priority or not.
what would that cost?
That was, what, 60?
60 to 80.
Yeah.
You can stick a sign up like they got in Manhattan that says fire station ahead and probably for $100.
Yeah.
Probably have
My
this-
opinion, if we've got 60 to 80,000 to spend, I'd spend it on air compressor and air reels and
Right,
stuff
Right.
like that.
I mean, you can put a
then-
sign up that says fire station
I like
ahead,
it.
you know, and, or caution fire station ahead or something.
How about solar panels? I think, and this is, and I'll put myself out there, this would be a priority for me as far as maintaining a building. Having a building mainly sitting out there, just sitting there until somebody comes for a meeting, somebody comes, and just pretty much using power. And
But is there any type of programs that would help us put them in the
Yeah.
renewable energy side?
Yes. I mean, they're not necessarily pay for it, but at least right now, I haven't seen any, they've kind of droned down on
Right.
I think
that
there's
sort of
tax
thing.
cuts on solar.
We don't have
Yeah, that
taxes
doesn't
to
help
cut.
us, so.
Yeah.
They did just come out with something with Evergy that said that if you have solar panels, they will charge you more for your electricity bill.
They're still working on
And that's
that.
going through the KCC. If not, they're going to add money to every single person's bill for the minimum in order to make up for it.
Protect their monopoly.
Yeah, exactly.
And right now, that's not decided, and in fact,
no,
I'm already going to talk to them about
Where would
that.
you propose putting the panels? On the roof?
On the roof, on the roof. That'd be the logical place to put it.
South facing, they'd all cant to the south, or?
It depends on the recommendations on how whichever company.
What's your dollar figure on
That's
that?
what I was just gonna.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we have
And
to
it all depends, do you want a 25% system? Do you want a 50% system? Basically, something that will offset 25% of the electricity, 50%. We can do a small solar array and not cost that much money. And it would offset 25% of our electricicity. And solar is getting cheaper as we go. So it's something, if you don't mind me getting it,
I'd like to look into it.
look into
Yeah.
it.
I'd like to look into it. I'm not gonna guarantee anything, guys. I
appreciate
But
that.
I look
ongoing
both
maintenance,
ways of it.
ongoing, what longevity of the system would be something
Right.
definitely look at too.
Definitely,
I wanna know how hardy the panels are too.
right.
Because we've had a lot of wind and everything like that.
Right.
I wanna make sure they're gonna stay there before we spend a bunch of money on something and they come flying off.
Yeah, well, and that's what the benefit of doing it now, where they can put the bracing in
Right, I
to the
got
building.
you. No problem with that.
And most of these, well, I would hope they'd stand up to hail. I mean, they're designed to sit outside, but I will look into prices or options for that.
Any idea what you think in a ballpark the energy cost will be for the fire station?
We did an estimate on total maintenance to get the CDBG. Do you have any comments on cost for electricity on running this building, or do you have those figures?
I don't have the budget, but we can certainly look at that.
Okay. But, yeah, so,
What's
I
it
wouldn't
cost
think-
for what we got for fire equipment now? What's it costing us for energy?
I don't have that.
I could have looked that up. I'm sorry. I
But,
did
no,
not
that's
know.
okay. We can,
I can do it for you.
we'll look into that.
My point is, got a pretty nice bid there. It's almost reasonable. And we have a volunteer fire department. If we get this for the taxpayers, I think it's wonderful, but if we're gonna tack on another $500,000 to try to fix this the way everybody seems to want it, then it's getting expensive.
Well, it
And that
is,
needs
but
to be taken into consideration.
some of the consideration you have to take into is like that air compressor. That gets me to your house faster. Or I can sit there and let the truck run for 3 minutes while it pumps up its air brakes,
I
like we do
understand all
now.
of that. I understand all those things.
But I think if we have this new facility, do you think we'll attract any more people to be on the volunteer fire department?
Oh, you might.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
The business of running into a burning house is not for
I
everybody.
know. I realize that.
I mean, that's the truth of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
yourself
wanna
in-
do it.
Putting yourself in harm's way is not for the faint-hearted either.
Audio visual equipment for the meeting room. I mean, we kind of need that.
Yeah.
Furnishings, yeah.
Furnishings? Okay.
Yeah, and I know we had talked at one time
I know
about,
they've got some chairs, some tables.
yeah, and we had talked about getting some new tables and chairs for
Here,
here and putting some of that there.
Yeah, I
Although
think keep the good stuff and surplus whatever we don't want to keep and get the heck rid of it.
Right.
Don't stick it in heads to the wall or something. God only knows.
Okay, so is there anything, we can price these all out. The thing I'm not gonna really look into is the traffic signal. That's okay with everybody?
Unless people think it's, but in my opinion, I don't think it's a good use of money, but.
Okay. And then I can look into, I mean, the furnishing is probably gonna be easy. 40 chairs, actually probably 50, just to have some extras. And some tables, a refrigerator, some of the things we'd already planned out.
Like I said, I'd look at least 50 chairs.
50 chairs, yeah.
32 members, and that's if you have no guests. So.
Right, and we're preparing for meetings,
Yeah.
open, for people to use it for meeting space, so, additional. Okay, I'll put some numbers together for these things, as soon as I can. All right, that was all I had on the fire station, and I'll talk with you, Clint, going forward.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have resolution stop sign at 16th and North.
I make a motion, we approve the stop sign, the resolution 2020-09.
And the stop signs can be on the north and south?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
That would be 5-3.
I would.
Who was in those?
I don't know.
Kevin? Parker?
5-3, yep, 5-3.
I've had people complain about it and say it's not necessary.
Yeah, 5-3. All right. Next up, we have an amendment or changing ordinance 1893. What exactly all did we change on that?
The only part we changed was we didn't have a thing in our ordinance saying that if someone passes away, that we need to get the name changed into the person who lives there, because we have no leg to stand on if somebody doesn't pay the bill. And if it's your spouse, all they have to do is come in and fill out the form saying, you know, this is my name, this is my driver's license, whatever. If it's a person that...
No charge.
Yeah, and no charge.
Okay, that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
ask.
no charge for that.
Okay.
If you inherit it and you are now gonna live in your mom's house, you need to put it in your name. And we still have some that are 15 years old that have
You
not.
have to pay for it then,
Yes, you do.
even though it's already been hooked up and the water rights have been given to you by your parents.
They haven't been given to you by your parents. Your house has been given to you by your parents. If you've had a house in town before, you don't have to pay, because you have a good pay record, it's still...
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah, if you have a good pay record and you already have an account here, no, it only costs you the $10.
Well, in this modern day, the one thing in here, if there are two people living in the house, and one of them dies and it happens to be in his name, or hers, or whatever, then that other person's got to start paying the way this is written.
We set them up in both names if you come in that way originally and say, we both live here and it's that way. So then that would not be true.
Do you have any set up now that isn't that way?
Sure. Because there are people that have people moving in and out of their house constantly.
Will they have to pay extra
Yes.
if they lose their spouse right now, and do they
Well-
realize that?
Not if it's a spouse, they'll never have to pay.
Well, in this day and age, there are people that are living together or
That are not,
and they're
exactly.
not married.
There are.
That's got to be looked into, I think.
We have, if they come in and want to add that name, we add the name, just like it
No
does.
charge.
Yes.
Okay.
But if no one is, they also move out on each other.
I understand that.
And then we are, then no one's willing to pay the bill. So that's what this is about.
Well, if the person that has the bill moves out and is gone, the other person wants to stay there. See, he's gonna have to pay a new water bill to hook up just to get the other guy's bill caught up.
No, the other guy's bill follows him. No, whoever's it was in, if they leave a bill, it follows them. It doesn't stay with the
So
person
if you
that's
were an old renter sharing this house and all of a sudden this happens, you become a new renter and you gotta pay all this.
correct, if you have not had the bill in your name before.
Okay.
Move to approve ordinance 1833.
Second.
Just a minute.
Yep.
And then on number 3 of A, you also removed a refund will be issued for all commercial connection fees collected between January 1, 2019 and June 20th, 2019.
Because it doesn't exist anymore. It's over. There is no, we don't go back. We've already refunded all
Okay.
those. There's no need.
Okay, but
Yeah,
that still was changed, so.
Right, we eliminated that because it had no purpose anymore.
Okay, all right.
Because 2019.
All right. I had a motion. Did I have a second?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Had something come up that, why this?
We have had it a couple times. Like I said, we have people living in their parents' house like 10 years later, and they're, never did put it in their name. And then they moved on and we couldn't collect it because we have none of their information. We don't know their name, we don't know we don't have anything on them.
But you guys just decided this, the water committee didn't decide this, you guys just decided this, right?
Decided what?
To add this.
You actually just decided it.
Yeah, we just
I know.
brought it forward. We brought it forward.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we'd had issues with it in the office.
Right, okay,
Yes,
but I'm saying
yes.
you guys in the office decided it.
No, we didn't decide it. We brought it to you to ask if we could change it. Yeah.
I know, but I mean.
No, there was no water committee meeting. Is that what you're asking?
That's right.
Yes, no, there wasn't.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Next up, it's not on the agenda because it came in late, I guess, but we have some businesses that applied for the CDBG CV grant. And we need to get that approved so that they keep moving on in the process and help out our local businesses with their grants.
Move to approve the CDBG CV grant for the businesses so mentioned.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Okay, next up, consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Next up, we have appropriations ordinance number 3734.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance number 3734.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call?
Padilla?
Yes.
Fry?
Yay.
Schroller?
Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
Bikeman?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Barron's?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
8-0.
Okay, next up, staff reports. Will's not here tonight, is he?
It's not here.
No.
He submitted a report from the last planning commission, basically saying how they replatted lots 1, 3, and part of lot 2 in Argo subdivision, phase 2. And he copied in the subdivision so you could see the difference. It moved the roundabout, or what you call the cul-de-sac, there we go, down, or shifted it. And then highlighted, let's see, where'd it go?
Just merged the lot.
Shifted lot lines. Planning Commission also approved a variance for the setback on the south side of Hughes' property to 6 feet. The replat is being, and it's being sent to authorization.
Yeah, for the mayor to sign.
Yeah, for the mayor to sign. So you're approving it for, right?
They're just approving that the mayor can sign because the planning commission approved it.
Okay,
The
so
planning commission approved it, they just want,
authorization for the mayor to sign.
Move to approve authorization for the mayor to
See where
sign.
it's at now.
Right.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Okay. Next up's Austin.
Nothing had changed since Thursday. I didn't have anything additional for my report, but if you have any questions of me, I would be happy to answer any. I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. So we got, next up, standing committees. Anybody have anything on street?
I have a question. On
Yes.
the 7th Street project downtown, 7th and Broadway project, I know we're fixing the broken bricks in the wagon wheel.
On wheels? Yeah.
Are we gonna put bollards on the north side to match the bollards on the south side? I brought it up before.
They actually took out the bollards on the south side to accommodate the ADA crossing, the bricks that go in the ADA. That's what they.
So there's currently no plan to put bollards back?
And in
think
fact,
we
when we took those ones out, they were all bent to hell.
Yeah, I know but the fact that they're bent to hell speaks to why they should be there. You know, to me.
Yes.
I gotta agree with Todd on that. Well, I think the north side probably makes a little sense, because it looks like a ramp.
And people will park there too, so it keeps people from parking on the bricks, which is also nice. It does look like a ramp. Somebody will drive up in there.
Right. So yeah, they took them out so they could accommodate the ADA.
Well, as long as we don't get in the way of the ADA requirements, can we go back in and put in bollards?
We can, yes.
Or put no parking signs, or do something,
Yeah,
because people park on the north side all of the time. In fact, when there's programs
signs aren't
downtown, they
gonna
park trailers and everything else on there.
I think the bollards will be a kind of a classy signal, plus it'll make people feel a little more protected, and they can come out past the cars and make sure it's clear and that sort of stuff.
Okay. I can
on the
see
north and the south.
maybe a non-obtrusive, we'll see what we can do. Yes, bollards.
Or don't put decorative bricks back in there. Doesn't do any good, because they're all broke.
Well, we're kind of perplexed on the pattern of those breaking, because it's like every other one. It's not like the trucks are choosing which bricks, but it's like this one's broken, this one's not, this one's
I
broken.
know, but they're
Yeah, it's
not
kinda-
made to be parked on though.
Well, correct, but no, I'm saying, I don't know if it was parking on it. It's just weird how they broke. But anyways, yes, bollards. We'll look into a way to do that.
Okay.
Also a street question.
Yes.
Calhoun Street between 7th and 6th, we did rededicate that as a street, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we need to do some work on the railroad spikes sticking out of the old ties over by Bruce's Body Shop. We walk that way occasionally with the kids, and they're sticking out like 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick. They're not spikes, they're the screws they put into crossings. They're bent over, and I think occasionally the rock gets bladed over them, but then it wears back off.
Yeah.
That whole street through there, to me, I think we need to
Do we
something.
own that now, or is that
Yes.
still
Yeah.
the railroad?
We own it.
No, we own it.
Calhoun, yeah, we own it.
It's a very unimproved street. It gets more traffic than you'd think. If you're
Oh,
on
it gets a lot
Depot
of
for very
traffic.
long, you see cars go by there.
Right, what I'm getting at is there still rails there, or is it just the ties?
It's just the ties.
Just the ties.
Yeah.
They just need to be dug out with a backhoe and completely removed.
I mean, if we've got time to mess with alleys, we can be messing with that.
Okay. Okay, anything else on streets?
What's the status on the alley between 10th and 11th, Strat Center to Carolina? We're gonna try to get that finished this year?
Yes, yeah, in fact, they let it go until Wednesday at the very least to get it around. And then we had to prepare the bathrooms for winter weather. So we kind of got
Right.
drew away from it. But yes, we are planning to get it done. Yep.
Okay, I know Kent's gonna put some shut-offs and stuff in there.
Yes.
I think once he gets that ready to pour, he needs to start pouring that regardless however far Kent is.
Right.
You know, we need to get the majority of that poured. If we gotta wait in the last 10 feet, that's fine, but
Okay.
once he gets it ready, he needs to pour it up
I
as
think it's
far as
gonna-
he can.
It's gonna be more work than it looks like, because cutting that incline down is going to, there's gonna be a lot of concrete,
Yeah,
actually.
but I understand, that's what I said, but if we
yeah,
gotta wait
I'm
for
agreeing.
Kent to wait there, I mean, we might as well pour 2/3 of that and have it done.
Okay.
You know, we don't need to be waiting on one guy holding up everything else.
Okay.
And 6th Street, are they gonna finish those off before long?
The
Manholes?
The manholes?
we kind of want to prioritize the alley first, and as long as we can make sure they're safe, I think.
I would just assume repair the 2 he's got there and let the rest
Yeah.
of them set till spring.
Yes. Okay.
Because he's not gonna get anywhere on them.
Okay.
Get the barricades out of there, cause someone's gonna hit them.
Especially
I could swear a couple of people, I'm surprised they haven't already.
I know, I am too, the way they go through there, so.
Somebody asked me about them the other day. They said, what are you doing waiting for those?
I had several questions while we put in a brand new street and then we're going to cut it back out, so.
We do that around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Protocol.
Anything else on the street? Water and wastewater? Parks and Rec?
Parks and Rec, that Discovery Place-based thing that Elm Barbecue talked to us about, we've heard anything more on that?
Well, and it looks like they were already making decisions on where to put them. So we're kind of behind.
Okay.
That's what it looks like to us anyway.
Yeah.
Did you get the email that she sent? Did she
Yeah, I
send
did,
you all
I
an
did
email?
get that, and that's why it kind of kept me in the back of my mind. And the more I thought about it, the more I liked it for that 7th Street between Elm and Walnut, and I was kind of hoping something could happen there.
Right.
Anything else in Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport? Police and Fire? Admin and Finance?
For the Cemetery and Airport one. Did we, okay, I know we've discussed occasionally on the airport committee, having fuel service up here at the airport. Did we or did we not get like an estimate here years ago from somebody about how much it would cost, predicted usage? It seems like we had something like that, maybe even before you were here.
Probably before, you haven't done a study on it. I mean, there might be a cost on the airport plan, estimated on how to put it in, but not on use. I haven't seen a usage report.
I talked to a couple of pilots this weekend, and they were both surprised as nice of an airport we have that wasn't on our horizon, and I said, I thought we had looked into it, but maybe we...
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that we...
Financing too?
Well, so fuel is kind of a tricky, just like a hangar is.
Profit making?
It's a profit-making thing, and the second you put it in there, it puts your discretionary funding, you can't get any for the next 5 years after you install it. And from what I mean, we have somebody who's willing to already provide fuel, at least it looks like that to us. And other communities have said unless you've got a high volume and a turnover of tanks, it's not exactly makes sense, yeah.
Okay, I just kind of meant to ask about that, if we still had a study on that or anything. But
It is, I think it's like low on our priority list.
yeah, I remember it's low on the list, I just didn't know if we had actual data. Okay.
Speaking of airport and a nice-looking airport, isn't there some way we can make people fix up their hangars? At least paint them?
Can't paint galvanized very well. You can try.
I was gonna
There's
say.
one with half a roof missing, I've noticed. That's a kind of a new advent.
I was gonna say, some of them look pretty bad out there.
Is that the one that's supposed to be torn down?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's coming, but
Well,
Yeah.
we have a lot of people fly into our airport, and some of them look pretty bad. I mean,
And that was one thing the committee talked about here a while back was some new hangars or replacing some of the hangars.
Well,
And, yeah.
there should be something we could do about it.
Yeah, there's a few out there that are, yeah.
We put a lot of money into it.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And they should respect that.
Anything else on cemetery and airport? I think we were at admin and finance. Anybody have anything on that? No appointment or wage determinations. Executive session.
Yeah, I'd like one of them.
No. I didn't bring the book. He's got one.
I have one. Since I'm the new guy at this, I'm gonna have this question. How long do you think we need?
That's up to your discussion item.
Okay, well,
We can always go back if we have to.
Yeah.
If you make it too long, then we gotta
I know.
sit there.
I'm gonna go,
Yeah.
For 20 minutes.
okay. I move to go into executive session for 20 minutes at 8:01 PM and returning at 8:21 PM. To discuss data relating to financial affairs or trade secrets of a business pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, Section 4, to assure financial integrity and accountability under a recreation management agreement.
Okay.
To
It'll
include-
include administrator and,
Yes,
Attorney.
administrator and the city attorney. And the council. Is that it?
do I have a second? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I think that happened last time.
Always.
Todd.
Hang on a second, John.
Yeah, you gotta wait for the Facebook to come back on.
Live stream.
Going?
Good?
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
There you go.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to report back, the time has rolled here, 8:21, we were at an executive session. During that period of time, no binding decisions were reached or entered by the city council.
All right, thank you. All right, next up, we just have roundtable. Bobby? Todd?
The Pony Express Gravel Dash was a resounding success. It feels like a long time ago already, and to think, I was like, no, we haven't had a meeting since then. Good turnout. I think it was really a good balance of safety and everything at the same time. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, I talked to these people from Omaha or Wichita or Kansas City or whatever. And they're all like, man, you know, they love coming to Marysville. You're so lucky to live here. People kind of forget the good things, I think, about the places they live because they see them every day. But, you know, I'm talking to somebody about how much we like to get away and go to places. And they're like, why would you go other places? I mean, they really don't. They see all the good in Marysville, and it's very welcoming. So, I mean, again, every year I say it, but it's true every year. We need to kind of sit back and appreciate what we have now and again. That's it.
Diane?
Nope.
Terry?
Yeah, to go along with what Todd said, the people that conducted the running part of it, they did a hell of a job. And I think they need some compliments from anybody that experienced what went on down there. They worked hard at it. I was really proud to see them do it.
Okay. Keith? Parker?
Nothing this time.
Colleen?
The guy over here is really cleaned up, if anybody's noticed. He had a whole trailer full of stuff over there the other day that he was loading up. So, looks nice.
Good. Kevin?
I have nothing this evening, sir.
I would like to say one thing.
Yeah.
Our city earned the five gold star again for our safety, which
Good.
means our employees and the safety committee, and it saves us 5% off of our work comp insurance. So I just wanted to,
Yeehaw.
yeah.
Good.
I did enjoy the league thing, and I like doing it from home.
Yeah.
I could sit there, so anyway.
All right, I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?